Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back to the Moon Report. My name is Marlene, and I am here to share with you, as always, the Moon Report and the moon magic that is available to us. This one in particular is a full moon in Leo. So, this full moon in Leo happened yesterday, February 5th, and Standard Time was 1:28 a.m. So we're really looking at Leo in a very unique way with this aspect in the full moon. And it's not so much what's going on with the full moon as what's going on around the full moon and all the energy that is being picked up here and there from, this full moon in Leo, which actually marks a midway point from eclipse season. So we are midway through eclipse season, and for that reason, it's really coming in with an intense mark, and it also is squaring Uranus, which is what's making everything feel very chaotic and very uneasy and maybe quite messy for some of us. So let's dive in first into the energy that is available with Leo. So this illuminated full moon is rather humbling, in my opinion. I feel like there's an honest opportunity here for all of us to take a look in the mirror and to really um, provide a reflection for ourselves as to where we are at. Being really, really honest with ourselves. Are we where we wanted to be? Or are we taking off from the right platform? Have we created from the heart thus far? Because it's very, very important for Leo to be an individual and to be independent and to live from the heart and have that expression. Things that could be coming up right now are self-expression, confidence, relationships could be coming up right now. You know, relationships, but like think of it as wanting to maybe have an unhealthy validation from somebody, like relationships in that toxic way where we're looking at things and when you're thinking, well, why do I care so much what this person thinks? Or why do I need validation from my family? Or why do I need some external force to tell me that something is correct or something is right or that I'm doing things correctly, rather? So there is this humbling effect that I'm feeling from this full moon. And one of the questions that one of the astrologers that I listen to on a regular basis, um, she she said, I asked you, where has your pride or your ego stunted your progress? It's time to take an honest look at that balance between ourselves and what we want to provide out in the community, or what is it that we need from community, right? And it's in this axis of Leo and Aquarius. And when I say axis is in the wheel, right? Let me show you the wheel here. Okay. All right. So here we are looking at this full moon, and we see, I'm sorry, it's 1:28 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. And here we see the moon at 16 degrees Leo and the sun at 16 degrees Leo. and the moon is squaring Uranus, right? Which also automatically squares with the sun in here and in Aquarius. And that is where the chaos is at. Like that's where the messiness is at. That's square between Uranus and the sun, right? And everything that it's bringing up. And we are, you know, there's an element here of an ending to something. There's an element here that something is different about you, and that you can't go back to doing things the way that you used to because that just isn't you. So this ending is very much a mark, like when I was just saying that reflection in the mirror, it's like it's a realization. Something internally is telling you that I'm different, and whatever has gotten me here to this point, I have I have worked my ass for it. It hasn't come easy. So I know that whatever's changed in me is solid. So really what this full moon is asking us is to up level in so many ways and to really own that powerfully. Because this is a transformative energy that even though it is maybe a bit uncomfortable, you know, it's the only way that we are going to be able to support others. If we are truthful with ourselves and we're coming from that place of honesty and humility, there is power there. And that's where we grow. That's where we really level up so that we can be there for others, so that we can be there for our community, so that our community can be there for us because we're actually open to receive. So this Uranian energy is, yeah, shaking things up a bit, but it's only to show us the reality of how far we've come and that we don't need validation from anybody outside of us to tell us, hey, you've come so far. We know that in our hearts. It's always nice to hear it from others, but what point does it become necessary to hear it from others? How much of that knowing can you then bring into your heart so that it's not stunting your progress? So you're not waiting for somebody else to say something, to validate, to take an action, to do something so that you can continue progressing. How do we change our perspective, Uranus? Because this change can be subtle. This knowing that you're different can be as subtle as a change in perspective. That's it. A changing of your mind. Have you ever changed your mind so much that it's like, okay, I can't go back there. I can't think that way anymore. That's not me. So here's an opportunity to have things change through a new perspective. How cool is that? So what is it that we need to embrace? What darkness, what light do we need to embrace about us so that we can then bless this mess and know that we can move forward from here? And I really love this sextile between Uranus and Venus, because I feel like Venus and Pisces and Uranus and Taurus here are, obviously they're in a sextile, so they're having a favorable conversation that does need a little work, that does need a little bit of adjustment. But I am feeling that Venus being the ruler of Taurus is easing things just a bit. It can help smooth things out just a bit. So really bringing in that self-love, really bringing in that sense of, these are the things that I value in my life. These are the changes that I want in my life. I know I've worked my ass off to get them. So I am going to move forward with this. And I don't need validation from any relationship because I have the confidence to move forward. So wherever it is that this is showing up in your life when I'm talking and when I'm expressing these things, the message here is that you know, and it's time for you to have the courage, Leo, to move forward with your own knowing. So it's time to express that. It's time to move forward, even though things look chaotic and things may be moving around everywhere. You know, Uranus has been doing this dance with the North Node in Taurus. So whatever it is that it's, you know, just zapping apart, it is to move us into that place of feeling more stable, taking more ownership, you know, building from there, manifesting from there, allowing abundance and prosperity to enter our life because we are ready to receive it. And as that South Node is still over there in Scorpio, rummaging through that closet, still pulling shit out, pulling skeletons out of the closet here and there. So we need to be mindful of that. And that's why I love that Venus, I feel, has come to really bring value to the work that you've done thus far, to this midway point where we're between eclipse season and eclipse season. We get to look and say, hey, how am I doing? Is this making me happy? Am I satisfied? Am I doing the things that I want to do? Do I have confidence in what I'm doing? Am I still catering to toxic relationships? Or am I taking ownership of how far I've come? So I already asked the question of you, where has my pride and ego stunted my progress? And now I'm going to give you an affirmation. When I open my heart and share myself with community, we all grow stronger. When I open my heart and share myself with community, we all grow stronger. So it's really that access, right? Let me share my screen again. You know, really highlighting this access between Leo and Aquarius. And when I say that, it's that opposite sign, right? Where Leo is very much an individual, very much about themselves. And Aquarius is that humanitarian that's trying to use what it's learned to then apply it into systems, apply it into ways of living. And right now, it's really important that we know ourselves, especially if we want to give back to community. So it's that interplay right there. And how is that working for you? Where are you? And how can you meet yourself in the middle of this access where you are fueling yourself and filling yourself and giving yourself what you need, nurturing yourself through the process of then being able to give to others, to give back to your community, to help in impactful ways. The idea is to make an impact, even if it's becoming like the best mom, you know, cooking the best meals at dinner time. Like, it doesn't need to be complicated. This is very much an internal process happening. And it's like moving away from chaotic waters into calmer seas. But what are we taking with us? What did we learn? How do we apply that so that we can have more confidence and more power as we move through? Right? So just know that you've worked hard. and that it hasn't come easy, but you are leveling up. So take care of you as you lean into this, as you lean into this energy, because it doesn't always, I mean, hardly ever look the way we think it's going to look. And with Uranus, there's always this continuity that you don't know what's going to happen and where it's going to come from, right? And it happens fast. And it could just be, like I said, a change of an idea, a change of your mind. And guess what? You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to change your mind with greed, with grace, and with ease, and with love. If something has changed in you, you need to honor that. So I hope that this full moon just showers you with blessings in your life, that it really, really illuminates the parts of your life that, need to be illuminated, where you need to look, where you need to take a look in that mirror, right? So be kind to you. I love you. And I will see you in the new moon in about 2 weeks. All right. Thanks, everyone.